Welcome to part 2 of Arroz con Pollo. It is Cuban night. And what I have done to speed this process in the video is I have browned our chicken. I took our chicken out of the mojo, I dried it off, and I browned it in some vegetable oil. I have removed the vegetable oil from our skillet here, saute pan here, but I have left all the nice fond in the bottom. I've also preheated my oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to reach a little extra virgin olive oil. And we're going to turn our saute pan back on. We need about a tablespoon of oil in here. And we'll talk about our ingredients that we have here. Starting with our vegetables, we have onions, celery, carrot, and this is a Hungarian wax peppers, 2 of them. You could also use Cubanelle peppers if you like something sweeter. Or if you can't find either, just use some green bell pepper. This is our alcaprada, which is our olives and our capers. This is our green sofrito that we made. We have about a half cup of white wine, a quart of chicken stock, chopped tomatoes in tomato puree, and our magic ingredient, which is sazon. And we have 2 packets of sazon here. This pan is still pretty hot, so we're going to add our vegetables in here. We'll hear a little sizzle. It's fine. Then we'll get rid of our plate here. And I'm just going to put a tiny bit of salt just for the vegetables. Grab a tool here. And we're going to sweat our vegetables. And we want to be able to remove all the goodness, all the liquid out, but we don't want to get any color on our vegetables. The Hungarian wax peppers that I have used here, they have a spicy flavor to them, which I like. But if you want the sweeter ones, just go for those Cubanelles, and they'll be fine in this recipe. We're going to add here just about 2 tablespoons of water. And this is going to help to sweat out our vegetables, because we're going to be able to cook our water out here while it's on high heat. We're not looking to have the vegetables completely cooked through, just softened. If you're using the larger Spanish stuffed olives, I would cut them in half. Since I'm using these small ones, it's not really necessary to have them cut in half. But you could if you wanted. The water helps speed the process. And the water also is an indicator that you know when the vegetables have sweated enough that the water is gone. And that's what our goal is here. Okay. Next 2 ingredients are going to be our sazon and our sofrito that we made earlier. Just keep moving them around. And you might be noticing, if you're watching this video before the other video, that there's no garlic in this pan. The garlic is actually in our sofrito that we made earlier. So that is where our garlic is. So it's almost there. Water's just about gone here, so now we're going to sprinkle in our sazon. And this needs to cook for a minute before we do anything else. This is going to add unbelievable color and some nice flavor to our recipe here. Continue to stir. Now we're going to scrape in our sofrito, which also needs to cook. Just give it a stir. Just needs about half a minute just to bloom the garlic and the herbs and cumin that are in our sofrito. Okay, excelente. Next, white wine. Put our half cup in here. We're going to bring it to a boil. Okay. At this point, we're also going to put in our capers and our olives. At this point, give it a good stir. Add in our chopped tomatoes in juice. I chopped those tomatoes myself through a chopper, and they're just whole peel tomatoes in tomato puree. That's what I like, but you could easily buy the already chopped ones. I just prefer ones that don't have any calcium chloride. All right. Now we're going to put in some chicken stock. We won't need it all. I'm going to start with a pint of chicken stock to begin with here. Okay. And I think that's probably going to be fine. Now we're going to nestle our chicken in here. Just get the chicken in there. And then we'll just scrape any juices from the pan here. It's all flavor. It's all going to cook in. Okay. Now, as we can see here, it's coming to a boil. The chicken doesn't need to be fully covered. As you can see, this is fine. We're going to do one final ingredient, which is fresh pepper. Freshly ground, always far superior to anything pre-ground. But if you're somebody who likes to sprinkle it on, then I recommend getting a pepper grinder that's a pepper mill with the twister on the side, and it grinds into a little cup, and then you can pre-grind it. This looks good now. We are at a boil, so I'm going to take the lid from behind here. Now we're going to slide it into our 350 degree preheated oven. And that's going to cook for 45 minutes. Yes. Okay. And when we come back, we're going to make the yellow rice, the other big part of this recipe. I'll see you soon in part 3.